You ready?
I was born ready.
All right. 3, 2. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Range podcast with Hogg Tactical and Kelley Defense. I am Mark Kelley from KelleyDefense.com, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host and friend from Warhog.com, Rick Hogg. How's it going, pal?
Man, Mark, it's going great. Just want to thank you, the viewer, listener, for giving us your most precious commodity, your time to tune in. We couldn't do it without you. We are live here at Royal Range in support of the Second Chance Canine fundraising effort. So thanks to all those guys for having us down. But we've got a fantastic guest today. We've got Lainey with Project ReForged.
Yes.
We're going to deep dive into some mental health. And I got it. Some of you guys are out there going, ooh. No, man, big deal, right? Especially when we look at the veteran law enforcement community. There's too many suicides going on out there, and guys need to be able to reach out for help. So we're glad we got Lainey on here.
Yeah.
Lainey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's deep dive into what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So a little bit of my background.
Sure.
I'm 15 years almost married into. My husband is Special Forces, so he started at 5th Group and is now currently National Guard with the Special Operations Community in 20th Group, and his full-time job is law enforcement.
Wow.
So, you know.
The trifecta.
Yeah, you just can't give it up.
Yeah.
So, and then I am a trauma and marriage therapist with a private practice in Paducah, Kentucky.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Paducah, is that Central West?
It is west, as far west as you can get north. So we're on the Ohio River right across from Illinois.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So specialize in that and then support law enforcement agencies. Right now I'm working with 6 executive teams to stand up an interagency peer support team. It's so important to, bring some of those resources in.
Yeah. Are those private entities, or are those some of those actual PDs and sheriff's office?
No, it's all law enforcement agencies.
Wow.
So sheriff's offices and then local PDs.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. How many total?
6 right now.
Okay.
So, and there's discussions on expanding that or standing up another team as well.
And what's the mission of that particular think tank there?
So, help by other officers, help for officers by officers.
Okay.
Right. So we have a program in Kentucky. It's called PCIS, the Post Critical Incident Seminar.
Okay.
We bring in officers, dispatchers, and their spouses for 3 days. It is peer run predominantly. So you have people who've been through it that are in the trenches, come in, teach you about mental health, tell their experience, and then they have us as EMDR or eye movement desensitization reprocessing therapists come in, and we do many intensive sessions to reprocess any traumatic incidents that are really bothering them, to give them some instant relief, and that's the first step. So
Now, are you seeing the peer-to-peer counseling? Are you seeing better success than kind of the peer-to-clinical?
I don't know if I would say better success. I think it's
success might not be the best word.
Yeah, I think that it's a great first step.
Okay.
And also, I'm a therapist. I know everybody can benefit from therapy, but not everybody needs therapy. Sometimes you just need somebody to come alongside you and be like, hey, I see what you're going through.
Yep.
I see you're drinking a lot more. Like, let's talk about that. Like, you're staying up till 2 a.m. in your garage drinking. That's maybe not the best life choice. How's that impacting your marriage? How's that impacting your work? Are you going to the gym anymore?
Right.
And coming in and saying, like, hey, let's do these other things.
Yeah.
Before we go down and spiral anymore. So I think that is really successful. One of the reasons we're doing interagency, especially in Western Kentucky, it's a lot of small agencies. You may not want to talk to your coworker about what you're struggling with, but you might talk to somebody 2 agencies over.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I'm recognizing I'm struggling,
right,
and I might need some support, and I don't know where to start. And so having those interagency supports is really impactful.
That initial piece where you said the incident where you'd bring people who went through a specific incident come in, and it was like some initial care there.
Yeah.
Is that something that is required? Are they going to be able to implement some kind of policy with the PDs to do that?
So PCIS, that is it's a state initiative, and so it is run through the DOCJT.
Okay.
However, we ask everybody, it's my favorite part of the week, is we ask everybody, what was your nugget? And so many people say, at 5 years, everybody needs to come through this. And the fact that they come through with their spouses too is so impactful because, and I see this a lot in my military work, nonprofit work, is that there's so much support for the service member, and that's great, and they need it. And the families need it too. Right?
Oh,
Is that 5 years post-incident or 5 years into the environment?
Into the environment.
Okay,
because for law enforcement
that's
officers,
a great idea.
so many, the average human being, our brains are not meant to see all the things that law enforcement officers see or service members see in combat. And so for the average person, you see like 2 of these critical incidents in your lifetime. A law enforcement officer may see it 2 in 1 week.
Yeah.
Right? In combat, you might see 2 in 1 day.
Yeah.
Right? 2 in 1 hour. And so it's not the fault of the law enforcement officer or the service member. Your brain's just not wired to handle that.
Yeah, and I know, when you look at between your military and law enforcement, there's a whole bunch of similarities on things that happen.
Yeah.
And I know for a lot of guys, and I'd just be curious to kind of see your input from this, a lot of guys do not want to get that help. So when we look at really the military side, if I talk to somebody about problems I'm having, they're worried about losing their clearance. They're worried about losing their job.
Yeah.
I would just be curious from the nonprofit side where it's not kind of we'll call it DOW, Department of War now, right? Program. Are you seeing guys being, I don't want to say backdoor, but more willing to reach out and try to get some help via nonprofits so they're not kind of those flags being raised?
Yeah. 100%. I know lots of people. I actually know people who have asked to see me and private pay so that there is no record of it. And what I would tell them is that if you do not disclose on that clearance paperwork, you are lying and you're risking your clearance.
Sure.
There's HIPAA to protect you, right? And then I was just at MIC last week, and I had a conversation with an investigator, clearance investigator, and I was picking their brain about this because I get this question a lot, and I'm like, please help me understand so I can educate. And the number one problem is it impacting your functionality as an employee, right? Are you still able to be reliable? Are you still able to be honest? She gave me 4 words, and those are the only 2 I can remember right now. But most of the time it is. Like, you are still totally able to function, right? The problem is typically that when you've been exposed to trauma or the like nasty underbelly, the evil of the world, it brings out that protective part in you. Like, you want to protect other people because, like, you know what to watch out for. And so what you'll see is typically it's not PTSD. Most of the time you're not having nightmares and flashbacks. What you're really having is this, I'm trying to protect everybody, and if everybody will just do what I tell them to do, I'll keep all the balls juggled in the air and nothing will fall. But ask your 2-year-old or your 13-year-old to do that, and they're going to take 1 step to the left and something's going to fall. And you're just like, oh my gosh, if you would have listened to me, like, I would have kept you safe. Right? And so with that type of struggle is not going to impact your security clearance. Right? And so how you do that, how you document that as a clinician, and I'm going to have more conversations with this investigator to get written down and really understand so that I can educate better and educate clinicians better on how do you document it. I think it's important.
It is important because I'm hoping that is the bigger issue for most people. But I seem to see this a lot where what your peers think about you is huge, especially in law enforcement and military. They're just, they don't want people to think, oh man, we got to watch old boy because he's not doing so well.
Yeah. Well, what would you do about heart disease, right? The
Totally
sooner
agree.
you can go into the cardiologist, the less damage you're going to have to your heart. Your brain's the exact same way, right? The longer you wait, the worse it's going to get. And so understanding that piece, I will say there's always going to be haters, right? However, what I've seen in the Kentucky law enforcement community is this acceptance of it. multiple states have PCIS programs. The FBI started it, and I think it was the 80s, maybe the early 90s. So it's been around for a minute. Kentucky is the state doing the most iterations of this program a year.
Okay.
And it's so cool because they break out into like small groups while we pull them for their mini intensives. And I had one person was like the last one I saw, and as they walked back into their room, everybody cheered for them because like they just have these smiles on their faces. And you know, one guy, he was just like, oh my gosh, I have a shit-eating grin and I can't like stop it anymore. And he was like, oh my gosh, what did you do to me? Right. And so, yes, you're always going to have people that are going to be like, well, you got to watch out for them. But you're also going to say that if you're drinking and getting drunk every night and you're falling asleep in the bathtub because of it.
Right.
But that's more acceptable, right? Like people.
Unfortunately.
Isn't that crazy?
That's the sad thing. And I think I'd love to hear your point on this. I personally believe that if you're going out getting the help, and I'm going to go especially towards the military veteran out there. So you take TBI, or in my case, TBIs. We'll add some S's on there. So now I got that. Now I'm trying to put trauma in boxes. My boxes can only hold so much. My bandwidth is only so much. And then we're looking at our performance start tanking. I got some achy yowies, so now I'm going to hit the bottle so I black out, so my pain goes away. Like it's this big vicious circle. I personally think when you start unboxing those sealed boxes, you start opening up more bandwidth for your brain to start acting more rational so that I can make those good decisions. And I'm just wondering if you guys have seen that.
Yes. So if you want to perform at an optimal level, you have to have every part of your body performing at an optimal level, right? And it's so interconnected and holistic, whether it's TBIs or your endocrine system and having low testosterone or your back aching and sleep and your nutrition, all the things are what allow you to perform at that high level. And if you don't focus on that, it's just like if you skip leg day every week, like everybody's going to know, like you're going to have certain struggles, right? And so just being able to say, hey, and there are those therapies out there. I do EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing therapy.
Thank you.
Right? It utilizes bilateral stimulation, so on both sides.
I was going to say, I thought I've heard that before. Isn't that the machine with
You can do that. So I have what we call tappers, which are like two key fobs. And you hold them and it buzzes back and forth, right? And so, but what it does is it activates the part of your brain that's activated during REM sleep, which is the problem-solving part of your brain that essentially goes through your day and says, what do I do with this information? Like, do I really need to remember what I ate for breakfast? No, like we can cut that. Do I need to remember that, you know, this kid at my kid's school is picking on them? Yes, I need to know that kid's name so I can be on the watch out for them, right? And so what it does is it pulls those memories. One of the things is, why do you have nightmares? That's a stuck memory, right? So like if you've been to a really bad call or you saw your buddy get shot and your brain's like, I don't know what to do with this information. So I'm just going to set it on top of the filing cabinet because I don't know where to file it. And it's going to keep pulling it back up to be like, what do I do with this? Where do I put it? Right? But EMDR reprocesses those memories and attaches an adaptive belief to them so that when you think about it, you're not getting the emotional reaction that you were before. And that's what allows you to perform at a higher level. And we can get through some of those memories like in an hour, sometimes 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've had clients, like we've reprocessed a call, like a super tragic, like awful call. And after that one session or 2 sessions for the one incident, they're like, I don't have the urge to drink anymore.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And it's so instant and instantly gratifying and helps them reach their goals. And that's why I do it.
You know, it's the exposure part where it doesn't even have to be the worst thing you've ever seen.
Right.
It's just that you're constantly subjected to it. It's like, you know, a tire driving through mud. It just picks up a little bit more every time.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it doesn't want to move anymore.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how many not necessarily critical incidents, just like bad accidents and situations where children are in just terrible situations where they don't have a chance.
Right.
And you just you don't know what to do with that information. And it's constant with these LEOs and even military. Is the instant relief the big thing that you think is important to kind of get them moving? Or do you think it's them coming back, every couple, 2 or 3 years, like making that mandatory where they have to talk to somebody regularly?
So I would love to see by the time that I retire that it is so normal for a processing session once a quarter.
Okay. So
to just allow
continuous.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like an oil change, right? On your car. What happens when you skip oil changes? It's not great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so getting you to that point, because the other thing is when you have that higher stress level because of all the weight you're carrying, all the things you've seen, that's going to spill into your marriage. And nobody likes to talk about marriage, right? That's not sexy. We can talk about trauma now a little bit more. That's more acceptable. But there's something about talking about marriages that feels like a failing, where we can be like, ooh, I have trauma because of this cool call I was on, right? I was a badass. And now I have trauma. Marriage it's just not sexy to talk about. And yet the number one determining factor of suicidal thoughts is not combat. It is marital or relational distress, right?
So,
and so being able to, the EMDR helps, right? The stress level, so you're not snapping at your wife all the time. The testosterone, like making sure your hormones are in alignment, helps you with less depression, less anxiety, more energy, just like a happier mood, right, too. And so that helps. But if we don't also figure out how do we support our marriages, that's also a major problem.
Wow.
And I think with that, Lainey, I'm glad you said that, because that's a key component that people forget.
Yes.
Whether you're military or law enforcement,
Yeah.
you always think the family's going to be there, right? So I'm going to treat them like crap and all this other stuff. They'll be there for me.
Yeah.
Till you show up one day and the welcome mat's gone and locks are changed and all your stuff's missing. But guys have to realize that at the end of the day, whether it's military and law enforcement, whenever they're done that career, their family is what's there.
Yeah.
That job, that position, that title is gone. So I think that's a key part. If you can keep that marriage strong during this career, they will be there for you versus, I don't know my wife, I don't know my kids, they all hate me.
Well, and then whenever you're talking about transitioning from I haven't had as many conversations in law enforcement, but transitioning from a deployment job, right, especially in special operations where you're deploying frequently, so many people, so many guys deal with the deployments by going, I'm already dead, right, or my family doesn't need me anymore. And so they can only attach and create such a depth of attachment to their family because that's how they cope with leaving them, right? And then on the family side of things, so many spouses that I've talked to, and I mean, we did it too, special operations guys, 9 months out of the year, they're gone, right? And so I'm going to set up my life like my husband's not here and I can't rely on him because I still have to get all these kids like fed and lunches made and to all the sports practices. And so we're going to set up our life that way. So then when we're transitioning out, the spouses, we have to go, oh, goodness, we need to create that space for our partner to have that daily need in our household again, right? Like, they need to download all those apps that the coaches are sending you messages on and the school's sending you messages on, and now they're the number 2 call, right? Or maybe they're the number 1 call because they're retired and we're working. But then also the veteran has to recognize, like, I may have put up this emotional wall that allowed me to do what I needed to do, but it is no longer serving me anymore.
Those day-to-day type things and the operations and going to work and the long days away, many days away from home, are you seeing this association with the identity of what they did or what they do when they're transitioning in or out from law enforcement as much as the military, or is it vice versa, or about the same?
I will say, I think because my husband's at the age where he could retire if he wanted. So many of our long-term friends are also kind of in this phase of like, what's next? How are we doing? Whatever. That I've had a lot more discussion with that than in the law enforcement community. But what I will say I have noticed that a lot of law enforcement will retire and then they'll go back as a SRO.
Yeah.
Right.
We had a discussion this morning about that very thing.
Which I think is great. Like, I think I love that for them. I love that for our kids. In Kentucky, you're actually, it's a statute that you will have a SRO at your school.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And so I don't know how other states are, but that's super common for us. I know that there have been discussions about some of these nonprofits getting special operations out of, or as they transition or retire out, getting them super high paying jobs, right? And then after 2 years in, they're like, I have no purpose. Like, this job is not fulfilling.
You said it.
And they would
That's the word. Purpose.
They would much rather have a $50,000 paying job a year. They have this purpose that they're filling. And I think that it takes a special person and a special mindset to be in law enforcement, to be in military, because there is that drive to make the world a better place. And so when you do transition, what is your purpose? Right? Whether I encourage people, like, whether you're volunteering for a nonprofit, please don't start another one. There's so many, right? I just left.
There's plenty to support.
There's
That's a great
plenty to
point.
support, right? And to go alongside and offer your knowledge and expertise and your time. There's 73,000.
Wow.
Right? And in the military community, like, I just sat in a panel listening to the financials. They're struggling, right? And so coming alongside and supporting them and finding your purpose that way, it's one of the reasons I love Second Chance Canines, right? Like, it allows people that opportunity to serve and support each other, right? And give back.
Yeah. It's a great point about the purpose. We were talking about that this morning.
That's something we hit the nail on the head. And I personally believe if we look at the suicide rates, and we'll never know the truth because we can't ask these guys.
No.
I believe it's loss of purpose. You know, so when we look at, the law enforcement community, the military community, why are we losing so many veterans? I don't think it's because of the demons. I think the demons do play.
Yes.
But I think they've been removed from that element they've known so long. Nobody's helped them to refocus what their purpose is.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's not about the money.
Right.
It's about, you give me a reason to wake up every morning. What am I doing? Bam. And I think that's the biggest factor in contributing.
And I think there's that, and I think it's the waking up, because the mission's always first, right? And so you wake up and you have that next mission, and then you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, look at the damage I did to my family. What this career did, right? And that's why, like, at ReForged, my mission is service without sacrifice, of loving connections and fulfillment at home, because we have to find it outside of our job too. To thrive, really, to be happy.
Yeah. So how can folks get in touch with you? What's the best way?
So Instagram at project.reforged or at projectreforged.com. Reach out, send me an email. If you have questions about finding support, getting support, I'm happy to connect and help you find a therapist that'll work for you. Or, we were talking about satellite ganglion blocks earlier, helping you if you need one of those. Like, I know somebody you can call. So happy to support in any way I can.
So give us the website one more time, right? And I say the website, not to cut you off.
That's fine. I'm listening.
Because Zuck might be listening, and he likes to. And he likes to deactivate.
Big fan of Orange podcast.
Big fan, but he likes to deactivate, right? So
Love that.
So if you give somebody your Instagram, and I've been in this boat, where when it's deactivated, because you decide to get zucked, there goes all your stuff.
Okay.
So let's hear that website one more time.
ProjectReForged.com.
Awesome.
Because you're forged in the fire, and sometimes you just need a little bit of help to get you back out there.
Clean up the rough edges.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
it.
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes as well. But I can tell. Thank you for coming by the way. But I can tell that you are going to be on speed dial for the show to bring you back on, see what's going on, and see how we can continue to help you get your word out, because it sounds amazing.
Thank you.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
If you like this content, folks, and you're enjoying this stuff and you liked what Lainey had to say, make sure you go to ontherangepodcast.com, check out the crew, because the crew always gets extra stuff, and the show continues on the crew members page.
For the rest of you guys, don't forget, train hard, stay safe, and we'll see you on the range.
All right.